Back in 2017, I was still active in my church, and that summer, my mom convinced me to join the Pioneer Trail hike. Honestly, I wasn't thrilled. Something about it just didn't sit right with me, though I couldn't explain why. That uneasy feeling lingered in my gut as we set off. By the time we stopped for a break, we had already trekked close to 10 miles. I grabbed something to eat like everyone else, but the gnawing sensation that we weren't alone wouldn't leave me. I brushed it off, telling myself, "Don't be stupid. There's nothing out here except us." We continued with our usual camp activities, and that night, after downing a bag of spicy Takis, bad idea, I found myself making a quick bathroom trip before heading back to the cabin, exhausted and ready to crash. Just as I was about to drift off, I heard a sharp crack, a branch snapping. I dismissed it at first, but then came another, and another, and another. My gut twisted. All right, something's not right, I thought. Curious but tense, I pulled myself to the window and peeked outside. What I saw froze me to the core. Standing there, partially hidden among the trees, was a creature. Long, disturbingly thin, its ribs clearly visible under pale, almost translucent skin. It had searing red eyes that seemed to glow against the dark forest backdrop. It moved with unsettling, jerky motions, sniffing the ground in the air like it was hunting for something. For a moment, it had its back to me. But then, slowly, it began twisting its body, almost unnaturally, toward where I was watching. I panicked, diving back into my bunk, heart pounding so loud I thought it would hear me. What the hell did I just see? Am I losing my mind? Raced through my head as I buried myself under my blanket. Branches kept snapping outside, closer and closer. Unable to hold it in, I shook one of my cabin mates awake. He blinked at me, confused, and said, half joking, "You good, Leo? You look like you just saw a ghost." "I don't know what I saw," I whispered, "but I need you to look." He sighed but agreed. "Okay, but you know there's nothing out." His voice cut off, because it was still there, closer now. Thank God it wasn't looking at us. Without a word, we dropped back into our bunks, yanked the blinds shut, and tried to convince ourselves it would go away. The snapping branches grew louder, but neither of us dared to look again. After what felt like an eternity, I mustered the courage to peek, and it was gone. All that remained outside were dozens of broken branches, as if something massive had stormed through the forest. We didn't breathe a word of the creature to the counselors. Instead, we claimed we heard a bear in the night. They organized a search, but only found a few strange paw prints that didn't look quite right. My cabin mate and I, we knew better. We knew what we had seen. Since that night, I've never set foot on the Pioneer Trail again. Last October, I went hiking alone near Mount Hood. I was trying to get away from everything: work, noise, people. I found this spot on an old Forest Service map called Owl Hollow near Jordan Creek. Sounded perfect, secluded, quiet. Barely even mentioned online. The first few hours were fine, peaceful even. Just the sound of the creek and my boots crunching gravel. It felt good, like I could breathe again. But sometime in the afternoon, that feeling started creeping in. You know the one, like somebody's watching you. At first, I tried to shake it off. Told myself I was being stupid. Big woods alone, of course you're going to feel jumpy. But it kept getting worse. Around 3 p.m., I looked off the trail into the trees and there were a pair of eyes staring at me through the brush. Not blinking, just watching. It wasn't a deer. I know what deer look like. This was different. Lower to the ground. Wrong shape. No sound at all. I kept hiking. Probably faster than I should have. About an hour later, I came around a bend, and there they were. A man and a woman standing in the middle of the trail. I don't know how to explain it. Everything about them just felt off immediately. Their clothes were weird, like they'd walked out of an old photograph. Faded colors, stiff fabric, almost dusty. I tried to say hello, maybe ask if they needed help, but my voice just kind of died. They didn't say anything either, just stared. And when they passed me, they both turned their heads at the same time and smiled. I can't even describe it right. It wasn't human. Their mouths stretched way too wide and their teeth were wrong, sharp and dirty, and their eyes turned black. Not like dark irises black, like bottomless pits. I almost threw up. I almost ran, but they just kept walking like nothing had happened, disappearing into the woods behind me. I should have left right then. I should have turned around, sprinted back to my truck, never looked back. But I didn't. I kept going. Dumbass. By the time I set up camp that night, my hands were shaking so bad I could barely get the tent up. It didn't matter. I wasn't sleeping anyway. As the sun went down, the woods around me got wrong, too quiet. No birds, no bugs, nothing but the creek and the sound of my own heart pounding in my ears. Then I started seeing them. First one, then two, then more. 17 or 18 of them, crouched in the trees, peeking from behind rocks, half buried in the tall grass. All with the same twisted smiles, all with those black eyes. I sat there by the fire, clutching my pistol, feeling like I was going to pass out from terror. They didn't move. They didn't get closer. They just watched. I don't know what snapped, but I stood up and fired 2 shots straight into the air. The sound echoed through the trees, sharp and painful. They didn't even flinch. That's when I ran. I grabbed my pack and ran, like my life depended on it, because honestly, I think it did. I don't remember getting back to the car. I don't even remember driving home. I just remember slamming the door behind me and sitting there in the dark for hours, shaking, gun still in my hand. But I know what I saw, and I'm telling you, if you ever find yourself near Owl Hollow, turn around. Get out while you can. Some places are better off forgotten.